Welcome to the Carriker Chronicles, the People's Show. Check the Postal Rescue Nation, brought to you by Nebraska Spine Hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, today's show was prompted by Luke McCaffrey transferring again. Okay, now we know he went from Nebraska to Louisville. Okay, he was only on campus at Louisville, only did about 3 or 4 workouts with the team, and the news came out recently that he's going to be transferring again. Now, first and foremost, that is what prompted this show. This is not a bash Luke McCaffrey show in any way, shape, or form. I've met the young man. I've met his family. I've met his dad. I've talked with him multiple times. They're good people. Okay, I got nothing but good things to say about the McCaffrey family. Luke, in particular, is a talented young man. I hope he finds a home, finds a good spot, a good landing spot, and has great success somewhere because he's got that talent and physical ability. What this show is about, okay, and just talking about the Luke thing for a second, we are hearing one side of the story. It is from Louisville, okay, the coach that spoke out. Basically, Luke was there for 3 or 4 workouts, thought he'd be the starting quarterback. That wasn't automatically going to happen, so he left. Well, the optics on that aren't great, okay, we all know that, but it is one side of the story. But again, that's just what prompted this show. The majority of this show, I want to talk about the transfer portal itself, okay. So when I was in school and when I was playing college football at the University of Nebraska, I didn't think the system was fair towards players at all. Because if you wanted to transfer, okay, you had to, let's say you're an option quarterback and you commit to a school and a year later that coach leaves, gets fired, whatever the case may be, goes to the NFL and they bring in an air raid offense. Well, if you want to leave, I mean, this isn't who you committed to. This isn't what you committed to play, the system, style of football. It doesn't fit you at all. You probably have no chance. And this is an extreme example, but you get, I'm not going to say it hasn't happened, but you get my point. You have to, if you want to transfer, you got to sit out a year. Well, if you're an upperclassman, you're done. You're out of eligibility. So you first of all, you have to be an underclassman to have any chance, to have any time left. And then sitting out that year, I mean, that made it really tough. Okay, it was completely unfair. Now you look at a school like USC with Pete Carroll. He basically had a lot of success, did a lot of things he shouldn't have. Okay, and he's never really had to pay the piper, so to speak. He just went to the Seahawks. But who had to pay the piper? All those kids who were there had the probation and all those things that USC had to deal with after Pete Carroll left. Okay, it didn't make sense. 2 + 2 wasn't equaling 4 in my mind in that old system. Now, you look at the current system. I'm not a big fan of it, but there is something I like. Because sometimes coaches under the old system, if a player wasn't playing well, they just treat him like crap. Like they couldn't have cared less at times. Okay, this might shock you, but college football is a business about wins and losses. So sometimes you do just get treated like a spoke on a wheel, especially depending on who the coach is. And I saw it firsthand. A guy who came in a couple years before me, he was the Gatorade Player of the Year in his state, got hurt right away, was never the same. His position coach treated him like crap the rest of his career, but it was too late. By the time all this came into fruition, he was an upperclassman. It was almost basically nothing he could do. I mean, he could have, but it would have been very, very challenging. So there's got to be a middle ground between players who can transfer like a couple months later after only being at a place 3 or 4 days. Again, not a bash piece, just my honest opinions and thoughts. And then you could leave again. Versus you're basically stuck and screwed unless you're an underclassman. There's got to be some sort of middle ground here. All right, something that makes sense. So. And I don't have all the answers. I mean, wasn't there a basketball player earlier this year that played for 5 different schools in 5 different years? There was. I put it out on social media. His name escapes me. But what is that? So anyways, I digress. Here's my oversimplistic solution. And let me know what you think. Hit me up on omaha.com/Carriker, YouTube, my Facebook, my Twitter. All great platforms to check out the Carriker Chronicles, especially my social media accounts. Haha. But anyways, what if you do decide to transfer, you have to at least stay at that school for 2 years or even a year. That would prevent multiple transfers within 1 year, just months apart, okay? Either 2 years or 1 year, something like that. Because this gives players some power. It holds coaches accountable, so you have to treat your players fair and right, okay? But it's not too far one way or the other, because that is the good thing about the current system is hold coaches accountable, but it's too easy to move around right now. One day you might have a boss you don't like. You just can't up and go all the time. Just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Go Big Red.
Thanks again to our sponsor, Nebraska Spine Hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, when it's your spine, you do not want to mess around, and experience matters. That's why you can trust the experts at Nebraska Spine Hospital, the region's only spine-specific hospital. They are the best at what they do.